Encounter is brought to you by the Broome County Council of Churches, where we connect compassion with needs as we inspire growth with dignity. You'll find us in special places throughout the community. For those who remain hungry, we provide meals. For those who are challenged, we build wheelchair ramps. We comfort those who are ill, minister to those who are confined, and we remain an advocate for change and understanding on behalf of every element of our community. Connect and inspire. Encounter the Broome County Council of Churches.
Hello, welcome to Encounter, a show of the Broome County Council of Churches. I am one of your co-hosts, Reverend Alicia Dixon-Gerard, and I am so glad to be joined today by a very special guest who's going to tell us more about herself and about the issue of food insecurity in our community. Miss Kinya, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Alicia. So, like you said, my name is Kinya Middleton. I am the current general manager at the Greater Good grocery store on the north side of Binghamton. Mm-hmm. The idea on the north side, there hasn't been a grocery store in about 25 years. So, through the Council of Churches and we have a grocery store, and the grocery store is open to any and everyone. You don't have to live in the apartments upstairs. You don't have to have a certain amount of social, it's just for every single person. And when you come inside the store, you will find something that you would like.
Yes.
We keep it clean. We play really good music, and I have the best staff in the world. So it's really a good experience.
Staff love bosses that say that.
No, people say that, but really, every single person that I have there, the turnover rate is very low. So I've had the same people since the store started, just about. Just a few people here and there, college students that come and go, but which is good because we're all on the same page.
Yes.
And we all care about the community. Right. So that makes the environment better.
Yes. So tell us more about you.
Oh, sure.
Other than just working your little heart out at the grocery store.
I'm just a mother of two. I have two daughters. So it's busy. So life is just busy. Just a mother of two working. I do a lot of work in the community, just trying to make sure that it's better for my children.
Right.
And I don't know if my children want to stay here, but my grandchildren. I come from a family of community workers. And so I'm just trying to help people as much as I can. I think a lot of the times, and at the council, what we focus on is just having grace with people.
Yes.
And that's just what my life is about, just showing grace, because we never know what can happen at any moment that can change our lives.
Yeah.
So I try to live that way.
Yeah. And that's such a good perspective. Because we never know what's going to happen, and you never know what's already going on in people's lives.
You never know, and like I said, at any moment, something can change and it can affect your life. So I just try to have grace with everybody, just everyone, and never take anything personal. But more importantly, try to help in the community. There's ways that I can help anybody. People help me navigate through things. So that's just what I love to do.
Yeah, pass it on.
Yes.
So for those who are not familiar with the local geography, where exactly is the north side?
So the north side of Binghamton is, I would say, Shenango. If you're going over the bridge on Shenango Street, it's right over the bridge, and it goes to about almost Front Street in that perspective of area. And that's the north side. So it's a big part.
Yeah.
But that's the north side of Binghamton.
Kind of, and State Street is where the grocery store is located.
So it's kind of like where the Kmart Plaza used to be.
Kmart Plaza, yeah.
And Lupo's.
Oh, yes.
It used to be, it's right, we're located directly behind Lupo's, where Lupo's used to be.
Yeah, so for our, kind of semi-local people who are like, well, I don't know where the north side is because I live on the east side. Well, that's the north side.
That's the north side. And I remember growing up in Binghamton, and the north side was so vibrant when I was a kid. So there was the Kmart, and that plaza was just filled with so many different stores.
Fashion Bug.
Yes, Fashion Bug. Oh, I remember Fashion Bug and the rag shop. And there was just so many different things there. And, you know, there was a McDonald's and a Burger King over there. It was very vibrant. And so, you know, it definitely brings back great memories. But that is the north side, and I love it over there. Yes.
And now we kind of see the opposite over time.
Yes.
The economy,
Yes.
more online shopping, kind of cutting into the bottom line of
Yes.
shops like Kmart and things like that. Like Kmart closed and the plaza is mostly empty. And so we're seeing certain parts of our city, in each of the Tri-Cities, whether you're in Binghamton, Endicott, Johnson City,
Yes.
you see certain pockets like that kind of have declined, where stores have closed and it's not that vibrancy anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely think you see it all over, just not even locally, just in the world now today. A lot of people, they want instant. It was so funny. I was just saying, it's instant. Like before, we'd wait for certain things, or we'd have to go out and socialize, and now we don't have to do that no more. You know, if you have troubles with that, you can just order, boom, boom, and you know,
Click, click,
and that's
boom,
it.
boom,
Yeah,
and it's there. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So this is not just meeting a need for the grocery store, but I think part of this larger perspective of revitalizing our communities.
Definitely. Definitely. A lot of our customers, they are walkers, and it's hard if you're taking a bus to go grocery shopping. You could only use about 3 or 4 bags, and if we can you could buy whatever you want and walk, you know, not far. A lot of our customers live very close, so we are, you know, we want to make sure that we do have all their needs in the store, so that way they can go home,
get the groceries, and not have to walk too far.
Especially when it's hot, when it's cold.
Oh,
You know, those things come into play. You know, you have a family, and you want it to, you know, you want to buy groceries. So 2 or 3 bags are not, it's, you know, it's not. And we also have a lot of other great programs too. We have a double up program. There's 2 double ups. There's a double up, which is federally funded through Field and Fork. And with that program, you receive, you double up on your groceries. So if you, on your produce. So if you spend like $10 in produce, you swipe your card and you get $10 to redeem on your produce.
Oh, that's a great program.
It is a very great program, especially with produce being very expensive. This is one of the things that can help you stretch it. We also have a free produce day too, that many people know about, which is the last Wednesday of each month.
Okay.
So the store is just, like I said, it's a community-based store. We want to do things for the community. Last weekend we had our back to school event, back to school bash. We had about 600 people, and it was so amazing. We know that there's a need in the area and for the store, but more importantly, to see the community come together.
Right.
Everyone's so different, just sitting and eating and just conversing. And we had resource tables there. So we know that we need this.
Yes.
And so we'll start planning now for next year.
Okay, for sure, because that sense of camaraderie is important in building that sense of community.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us more about the background again of how it got started, like who was involved and why that particular spot again.
So from my perspective, and I came in about 6 months after the store opened, 6 to 7 months, and I started when the store opened. I was the assistant manager, and then I became the general manager. But Joe Selipek and the former general manager, Jack Seaman, they've been trying to get this grocery store, and it's been in 25 years of making, but they were the 2 people that really like set it off the ground and got it going.
Yeah, and that spot in particular, because 25 years, that's kind of a long time not to have a grocery store within walking distance in a particular community.
Yes.
So it was what is known as a food desert at one point.
A food desert, yes.
Say more about what food deserts are.
So a food desert is like a area that does not have a grocery store or access to food, and there's another word, I can't even think of it at this moment, but a food desert is just an area where there isn't a grocery store or access to healthy foods. So, and we have a lot of them, not only just the north side. The north side has been known, but they're all over the country and the world.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of Googling, and I believe it said that's easily accessible.
Yes.
So like you said, within walking distance.
Yeah, that's easily accessible.
Or easily accessible by transportation at least, right?
Yes. And we need those things. We know that if you're not eating healthy, sometimes that causes other illnesses. Not only that, if you are someone who only receives a certain amount of money for the month, going to a gas station, you're not going to be able to extend your budget. So before the month is out, you're hungry again, or you're trying to find ways to eat, which no one should have to worry about those things.
Right, exactly. And I only became aware of the terminology and the concept and the fact that it's a problem everywhere in our country and in our communities and cities. Maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, I forget what I was doing, but began to learn a little bit more about that this is an issue. And where I live in Johnson City is located centrally enough that I can actually get to about 2 or 3 grocery stores.
That's a blessing.
With a car, because I'm blessed with a car. And so I don't have to worry about, I only can carry 2 or 3 bags within walking distance. I can get most of my groceries done at one point, load up the car, go home, and I'm good. And so having that blessing, I really didn't consider until I began to learn about that there are places that the grocery store is not close at all. But then it got me thinking when I was a student and I didn't have my car.
How hard it was just to achieve that, right?
Exactly.
Definitely.
And I lived off of Main Street and I used to get my little grocery cart and I'd walk down to one of the old Giants, the little small Giant, and I was able to walk back with my little cart if it wasn't too hot or too cold out. But if it was too hot or too cold out, I remember I had to watch how much I bought, time it for that bus because I didn't want to miss it because the next one wasn't right behind it to get back to my apartment. So I thought, okay, remember back in the day, you haven't always had a car. Just remember how it used to be, and don't forget.
And see, that's back to having grace, right?
Yes.
That's back to having grace and remembering that, everything at any moment, everything can change. Yeah, so that's definitely.
Yeah, so for those who do kind of have vehicles, that blessing of vehicles, you may not think about it at all. You're on your way home from work and you can hit maybe 2 or 3 different grocery stores, but people without that have to kind of plan ahead of time which grocery store, how much I can carry in the weather, et cetera, et cetera. So just, I want to, I guess, invite our audience to think about that. Think about that much planning and just last minute, we're out of milk. Where do I get the milk? Easily get the milk. Do I go to the gas station, which is going to be maybe 2 or 3 times the normal price, and I need that money for gas? Those are the sort of challenges, decisions people have to make.
Yes, most definitely. I know too. I started driving not so long ago, so I know the challenges, and if you have to Uber or those things cost money too. Like those costs. So. That money could be spent on something else, like a bill or something. So I definitely understand those challenges, and that's why we are really advocating for people to take use to the grocery store and use it, because it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
We also have really good deals. We have $1 ice cream and $2 ice cream. But these things, and it's good name brand things.
Right.
But that is one of the reasons why I totally advocate for the store and those things, because I know what it's like to worry about those things. I know, sometimes not having access to those vehicles and you have to walk or you have to wait. And we tried, like I said, we try to make sure we have every single thing inside the grocery store for people.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. For those of you who have just tuned in, you're watching Encounter, a show of the Broome County Council of Churches, and I'm Reverend Alicia Dixon Gerard with Kinya Middleton here today from the Greater Good Grocery Store as my guest. So, an interrelated issue with dealing with food deserts is food insecurity. Another thing I began to become a little bit more aware of 5, 6, 7 years ago. Tell us more about what food insecurity is.
Or just food insecurity, just basically, as we know, after the pandemic, a lot of things have gone up. People have to make decisions now, whether they're, if we're going to pay the light bill or the mortgage. And so one of the last things people they worry about is food.
Right.
Because you have to worry about so many other things. So just not having food at all. And I think when we think of like food insecurity, you think of a certain person or a certain look, but it's anybody.
Right.
Like anybody could have an issue with food insecurity. You don't know. You have so many other things. And like I said, we have those double up programs that can ease that food insecurity problem.
Yeah, I was Googling again to prepare.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
And the USDA, it defines food insecurity as a lack of consistent access to enough food to live an active, healthy life. So those are all key words.
Yes.
Consistent access and healthy for a healthy lifestyle. Because you hinted at it that having a good diet helps avoid health issues.
Yes, long-term health issues, diabetes, hypertension, which those go into other things. Those are like two of the main ones, but those two alone can set off another set of problems.
Right.
Other sets of problems.
Right. I remember being with a particular organization at one point, and someone had came in asking for money. And we had a policy that we wouldn't give you cash, and so we kind of had to say, no, we're not going to just give you cash. Sorry about that. And the gentleman walked away, and the person who was with me, who met this gentleman at the door, made this comment of, oh, look how overweight he is. He's not begging for any food or anything to eat. And I immediately thought what you were about to say. How do you know that?
How do you know?
You have absolutely no idea how much income is coming in a person's household, and how they're trying to stretch that money so that they can afford the food. The cheaper the food, actually, a lot of our cheaper foods have a lot of high calories that are contributing to things like diabetes and hypertension.
It's true. Like you could get, like I said, you can get a bunch of different things from a gas station, whereas, you could come to our grocery store and you can stretch the same budget for the same amount. We have fresh produce, milks, eggs, cheese, bread. So those things, you wouldn't be able to get at a gas station.
Right.
Vegetables.
Yes.
You can stretch your budget. So you never know. But that's also back to having grace again.
Having grace, yes. There was kind of a lack of grace in the statement. There was an assumption that just because the person was overweight, that they were eating a lot. And I actually did speak up and say, actually, a lot of food we have easy access to, it can cause obesity as well as these other health problems.
And not only that, those things are not fillers either. Like, I'm going through a transition like with my diet, and I'm learning that like those things aren't fillers, because I sit at a desk a lot. You just eat like cookies and chips, but you're still hungry.
Right.
And like I'm learning like through my doctor, eating things that are filling, but those things are more expensive.
Exactly, more expensive, and you need easy access, consistent access to them. Right. So that's why
those things aren't cheap.
Right.
Not at all.
It's so important then to have a grocery store that, I love the fact, is community focused and community based. So it's doing things to try to make the fresh, healthy food affordable and accessible on a consistent basis.
Excuse me.
For sure. Because again, we don't know what a person is dealing with and how much income they have access to. Poverty and unemployment are contributing factors to food insecurity.
Definitely. I mean, and I think, what we're thinking about and what we're going through. I think when people think of poverty, they think that money will just solve it, but a lot of it's education. You know, we can't just give someone who's in poverty money to solve the issue, or we can't just give them food. Like we have to show them, you know, certain people, everyone, we don't all have access to the same things.
Right.
So if we can get people to get access to those things.
Yes, that would be helpful.
Yes.
Education about how to eat differently, how to stretch the budget.
Definitely how to stretch the budget.
And things like that.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and to do things to help with affordability.
Yes.
It's kind of an intersection between housing costs, for example, and food costs and medical bills. They all kind of intersect.
Yes, like I said, it's so hard to live now, you know, just every little thing counts, every piece of education, free or not, like every single thing counts. So if we can help at the Greater Good grocery store, we are very helpful. We'd love to do that.
Yeah, I was trying to look up some statistics to give, you know, our audience kind of an idea of what we're talking about. And I believe the poverty rate for one person is earning a little over $13,000 a year.
Wow.
A year. And you take, so that's about $1,000 a month, a little over $1,000 a month. So then I began to research, well, how much is a person trying to pay in rent? And the average cost of rent here was $800, the average cost of rent. So if you only have $1,000 a month and your rent is costing you $800, how do you live off of that remaining, $300 for a whole month with groceries, the cost of transportation,
lights,
yeah, right, yeah. Water.
If you need internet, we need internet for a lot of different things.
Yes,
just those things. It's very, very hard.
Yes,
extremely
yes,
hard.
Because sometimes I think we have this misperception that if people are struggling with cash flow, that it's their own fault, that they must not be working or not working hard enough. But depending on how much you earn and you're bringing in, you know, it could be a real issue. You could be working as hard as you possibly can and still have an issue with making sure you have access to basic life necessities, really.
Yes, definitely. We have to make sure that we have access to those things. And like you said, we have like thoughts, or we have like these stereotypes of what we believe in our mind about certain things that are absolutely not true.
Right. Getting over those stereotypes can be a hurdle.
Definitely. And even I can say that when we have our produce day, a lot of people come up to me and my staff, they are very thankful because they're on a fixed income. A lot of seniors, like people people who've worked so hard their whole lives, and you know, they have to make those decisions, like, you know, this is expensive, but they're so grateful just for that bag of produce. And they're grateful for the programs that we do have at the store.
Yes, I think we forget that. We might be thinking of able-bodied, working-age folk and assuming the stereotype, oh, you're just not working hard enough, and therefore that's why you're struggling to put food on the table. But also our seniors, they've earned the right to retire.
That's right. That's right. They've
worked so hard. Right not to work anymore, and they're on a fixed income.
Yes, of course.
Yes, and there are definitely poverty levels among our seniors that are high.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Most definitely. And, you know, we have to make sure we take care of them too. But if we can help at the Greater Good grocery store, we're thankful for that.
Yes. And to offer that grace, like you said, overcome stereotypes. I remember I was working at some place and a coworker was just saying she had to stop by the grocery store after work, and how she avoided a certain store because it was in the quote unquote hood. And it was one of the times that it caught me so off guard, someone saying something like that I didn't do a corrective response.
Yes, you're like, what? What or explain to me.
Right,
you know?
Right,
excuse me.
Right, but explain. I took offense. I was offended.
Most definitely. You know, and that, like I said, that's back to what we are about at the Greater Good grocery store. You don't have to be low income, high income. The store is for everybody.
Yes.
You'll find something in there that you need. We keep the store very clean. All of my employees are helpful, the best. will do anything for you to try to help you along your way, and also to make sure that you have a great experience inside the store.
Right. Yeah, I took offense because, I shopped at the
Yes.
place that this person made the comment about.
What does that
What's
mean?
the quote unquote hood,
Yeah,
and,
what does that mean?
what are you so afraid of?
Yes.
Is it, I do believe it's one of the local stores that gets a diverse crowd,
Yes.
and diverse in terms of race and ethnicity, and probably also income level too. And so I thought, is it just because it isn't all middle class people who look just like you?
Yes.
Is that why you don't like being there? She mentioned, oh, well, I don't want to get anything stolen out of the car while I'm there, if I have to go there, so I hide everything in the car. And I'm thinking, you can get carjacked, car stolen anywhere. So
But that's
again,
also,
overcoming those
and,
stereotypes.
definitely, and that's in overcoming those stereotypes is through lack of education, lack of talking, having these uncomfortable conversations, and growing from there.
Yes, and realizing that grocery stores are there for everybody. I mean, food is for everybody. We all need to eat. It's one of our basic necessities.
We need it. It's a basic necessity, and it's our right too. Like we should not. People should not have to make decisions and worry about if they're going to eat. If they're going to have. If they have to make those decisions, and that's one of the reasons why we have a lot of community-based programs to help people along the way.
Yes, and I love this. It's a different model that isn't necessarily focused on the bottom line. Like it's not like this corporate mentality of, this is our price, that's it, just deal with it.
Yes.
It really is a very considerate, community-based, like you said, grace-based model of how to feed the community.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. Definitely, we want, like I said, we want to make sure that we help out as many people as we can in the community. And it's so funny because my staff and myself, we know all of our customers, just about a lot of our customers that come in. We know them, we know their likes, the things they ask for. And another thing about it being community based is we ask for opinions. So like, what would you want us to carry, for you? So people like that, they have a say so in what they buy too. You don't want to just put stuff in the store that people don't buy. So we try to make sure that we have things that people need.
Correct. Oh, yeah. And I've been by there. It's a happening place. You're right. The music is so good.
Very good music. Yes.
And the staff was very friendly.
Yes.
And I came by to chat to prepare for our show, but I picked up some groceries too. And I was like, oh my goodness, they have this. I haven't seen this in forever.
Yeah. See, we do. We try to make sure that we have a little bit for everyone, like a very diverse selection for people. So yeah, we really, really love it.
Yes. It was an awesome experience. And so I'm glad that I got to have you on the show to tell everybody about it.
Thank you so much. I would say come shop at 435 State Street. We are open Monday through Friday from 9 to 7, Saturday from 10 to 7, and Sundays we are open from 9 to 2. So, if you're after church, come and stop by and, shop with us.
Yes. You heard her, folks. Come shop.
Yes, please. Thank you.
And enjoy the music. It actually makes you buy more stuff because you're
really
too busy dancing.
It's so good. It legitimately is really good music. We play excellent music at the store.
Yes. Thank you for joining us today. The Encounter Show is a show of the Council of Churches. I'm Reverend Alicia Dixon Gerard. My guest has been Kinya Middleton.
Thank you.
Of the Greater Good Grocery Store. We are so glad you tuned in. See you later.